Arizona, a state that I lived in for the majority of my adolescence until I joined the Air Force at 19 years old. I've lived in a lot of different areas of the US, but if you ask me where I consider home, my answer would and has always been Arizona. The craziest part is after growing up here, I haven't been back in 20 years. After watching one of my favorite overland creators, Brad, from Trail Recon, embark on a journey across this great state, I knew I had to make it my next big trip. To date, this would, without a doubt, be our largest undertaking strictly dedicated to overlanding. And while we spent nearly 4 months getting ready, nothing could have fully equipped us for the stunning views, the dramatic shifts in landscape, or the setbacks we faced along the way. From arid desert landscapes to cliffside views on the Mogollon Rim and the Grand Canyon, from getting a complete set of 5 new tires to crashing my drone and unexpected snowfall, Arizona showed us why it really was the Wild West. Join me and my wife Melissa as we journey across this majestic state from the Mexico border all the way north to Utah. This is Arizona. All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. We are headed down to Tombstone, and then we are hitting the Arizona BDR starting today. We have 10 days to do the entire trail, so we're gonna head down to Tombstone and then hit the trail. We just arrived in Tombstone. It's really nice. They have a nice little RV parking lot down here. So we used Benson, Arizona. We were at the KOA. That's the campground you saw us cleaning up from. We figured that would be a good jumping off point to start this. They have all the amenities you could need there, a super Walmart, Safeway, gas, restaurants, all that good stuff. So we're stopping here, gonna check out the town, maybe get a few things, and then head down to the official start of the BDR. So let's go check out Tombstone. Tombstone, Arizona, a former boomtown of the American frontier, was founded in 1879 by Ed Shefflin. It rapidly grew due to silver mining, becoming a bustling town with a population reaching 7,500 in the mid-1880s. The town's history is marked by the infamous gunfight at the OK Corral, the Earp family, and Doc Holliday. Eventually, the town declined as the mines flooded and silver prices dropped. Today, Tombstone is a National Historic Landmark and a popular tourist destination, showcasing its Old West history and reenactments. Okay, so we just left Tombstone. That was a cool old western town. If you find yourself in this area, highly recommend you stop. It's really cool to see all the history. We are now headed down to the official start of the Arizona BDR. Looks like we got about a half an hour to get there. We will see you when we get to the trail. We have hit the official starting point of the BDR. It's still paved roads for a little bit, I believe, before we actually get on dirt. But we just hit the official start to the Arizona BDR. The start of the BDR finds you turning off Highway 92 headed south towards the Coronado National Monument. The paved road brings you past the visitor center and continues on for another mile or so before transitioning to dirt and sending you climbing for Montezuma Pass. And it would be there, a mere 8 miles into our journey, where we would run into trouble. summited Montezuma Pass, we stopped to take in the sprawling views of the San Rafael Valley to the west, which you descend into on your way back down. It was on this descent that disaster would strike. I hadn't aired down, and you'll hear my explanation in just a moment as to why. The puncture was quite severe, and I ended up having to use 3 plugs from my tire repair kit to get it to stop leaking. At least so I thought I did. With the repairs made and all tires now aired down, we continued on our journey west. So after a little mishap after leaving Montezuma Pass, we have made it to the Mexico border. This road, we're gonna head that way, runs right along the USA-Mexico border. So this is about as far south in Arizona as you can get right here. We're gonna get moving. I just wanted to hop out and stand here on the border. There's definitely an argument for airing down no matter what. I didn't air down thinking, I'll air down if it gets bad. Obviously there's no way to know for sure, but if I was already aired down, perhaps the rock that punctured my tire might not have punctured it because the tire would have rolled over it rather than stabbed right into it. And the best part is it's the same tire that we punctured on the Utah BDR. So now that tire has 2 punctures. That's what a full-size spare is, but I think it might be time to get rid of these factory tires. Anyway, we're gonna get back on the road and get to camp. While the route takes you right along the southern border, it's not long before it points you north. You end up traveling through a lot of private land before re-entering the Coronado National Forest, and it was there that I had picked out a site for us to stop for the night. The issue of the still leaking tire weighed heavy on my mind and served as an unfortunate distraction to filming. We got camp set up for the night, and I did manage to get the drone up for some spectacular views. However, as I mentioned in the intro, the tire was just the beginning of what Arizona was about to throw at us. Good morning from the Coronado National Forest. We rolled into camp last night around like 4:30. It is now 7 o'clock the next morning. The sun is coming up. It's nice and cool right now, but as you know, in the desert, it's going to heat up real quick. We're going to make some breakfast, start breaking down camp, get back on the road. I got the tire changed out last night, so we'll just see how it goes. This is a beautiful area. Let's get camp broken down, have some breakfast, and then we're gonna get back on the trail. So we just entered the Las Ciénegas National Conservation Area. Tempting when you look at the route to skip this part, because if you look, it's just a big loop and you come right back out onto the main road just a couple miles down the road. There's a lot of interesting things to see in here, and it's still beautiful. So we have the time to do it. If you're on a time crunch, this is probably a spot you could skip. We're gonna go ahead and do this loop and see what it's all about. So we just pulled off here at the Empire Ranch. I figured I'd fit the part and put on my cowboy hat. We both got custom-made cowboy hats back in Tombstone. They had this special going. It was a little pop-up shop. You got to customize. You pick out the color of your hat. You got to customize it how you want it. I stayed very simple. Gray with a gray band and just a little bit of turquoise in there and a feather. So let's go check out the ranch. In the wide open lands of southern Arizona, one ranch rose above the rest. Empire Ranch. Founded in 1876 by Walter Vail and Herbert Hislop, it grew from a modest homestead into a sprawling 180 square mile cattle empire. But building an empire wasn't easy. Apache raids, isolation, and hardship tested the ranchers at every turn. Still, they stood their ground and thrived. Silver from the nearby Total Wreck mine fueled their expansion, and soon Empire Ranch was the crown jewel of Arizona ranching. Its 22-room adobe house stood as a beacon of success in the rugged frontier. Through decades of droughts, cattle drives, Hollywood films, and near destruction by wildfire, Empire Ranch survived, a testament to grit, vision, and the spirit of the West. Today, Empire Ranch lives on, preserved for future generations, a place where history still whispers on the wind. All right, so that was the Empire Ranch. That was pretty cool. Again, if you like history, I highly recommend you stop and check it out. We're gonna finish this loop and see how it goes. We have made it to Camp Night 2. We are on state trust lands, which if you get a permit, you are allowed to camp up to 14 days a year. We will be here for one day. We have a pretty awesome spot overlooking the valley. I mean, you can see there's a ranch right down there, somebody's private property. But this side of the road is state trust land, and this is an established campsite. You can see there's a fire ring there. Kind of windy. There's some good gusts here. We just can't seem to win with these tires, but we had the gash, so we're down a spare. Well, now our driver front tire keeps slowly losing air. We're having to stop every 20 minutes to fill it. I have already made an appointment at Discount Tire in Flagstaff to get new tires. We are not getting factory replacement tires. I'm over it. I'm going to spend the money and get good tires and be on our way and be done with the stupid tires. Where we're camped, we made it to about where we need to be for day 2. So that worked out really good. After that Empire Ranch, if you continue on the loop, it is slow going. I was thinking we were going to finish that whole loop and maybe from the ranch, maybe another 45 minutes. Oh no. It was about another hour and a half, 2 hours. We are going to get set up here for some dinner probably in a little bit. I am trying to catch the last of the sun. Unfortunately, it's a little overcast, which it's a double-edged sword. It's nice because it's not as hot. The air temperature is still hot, but not the sun beating down on you. But I'm also not catching much for solar. Anyway, that's enough rambling, I guess, from this campsite. Enjoy some drone footage. I'm going to try and put it up while it seems like the wind is dying down. And yeah, we're going to get ready to have some dinner. You can hear it in my voice. The early struggles, the doubts. Out here, it's easy to lose yourself until the desert reminds you why you came. We watch the sun fall behind the mountains, shadows stretching across the valley. Under a sky full of stars, we found our peace. This was just the beginning. Arizona still had more to show us, and we were ready. Morning of day 3. We got packed up real quick. We want to try and put some mileage in today and get to camp early. We need to catch some sun with the solar panels. Our camper battery's getting a little low. We want time to take showers and stuff today too. The good news is the tire that was slowly leaking this morning, since it was nice and quiet, Melissa heard the leak. We actually found it and I was able to plug it. So hopefully that helps us limp along until we get our new tires in a few days. We are going to get on the road and head to Maine. I've always believed a drone brings a unique magic to overlanding videos. It captures scale, solitude, and the story of a place in a way nothing else can. The freedom of perspective. Soaring over desert trails, winding through canyons, it's become an essential part of the experience. So when I watched mine drop out of the sky just a few days into the trip, I was devastated, angry, frustrated, honestly heartbroken. I knew what lay ahead: epic trails, remote campsites, the rim of the Grand Canyon, and no views from the sky. Well, as you saw there, I just crashed my drone. That's why you probably shouldn't try and fly and drive at the same time. I pushed the wrong stick, flew it right towards the camper. It flipped over, and however it landed, it broke the arm. That's why you get DJI here, so you can get it replaced. Anyway, we're continuing on the dirt section from Mammoth to Winkleman. We stopped and got fuel in Mammoth. Beware, they only have 87 octane there. This road here is not bad at all. We have not aired down, and it's actually been quite smooth, which I will probably regret saying out loud. There's a few little washboardy sections. Overall, it's not too bad. We'll see how it holds up. We're maybe about a third of the way down it. We are continuing on down one drone. As disappointing as losing my drone was, we pressed on, because the road ahead still promised challenge, beauty, and discovery, the kind only Arizona can offer. We made it to camp, night 3. That dirt road was decent. There were some definite washouts that we barely made it through. We decided to come back to a spot. I picked a different spot, and I'll show you in a minute why we tried to get there. I just wanted to pause really quick because I realized as I'm editing that I never actually pointed out where the other camp is. It is right there on the other ridgeline across from us. But we made it maybe a third of a mile down the road, and there were just something that we weren't going to make it through with our setup. We actually made it to pretty close to day 4 mileage today, which is good. We got here early, but there's camp. Not a bad spot. Pretty good view this way, huh? Well, I'm telling you, you are not ready for the view that's behind you guys. Let me turn you around so you can see this view. Look at that. Can you see now? why I'm upset about the drone. The way the wind is blowing right now, which it was not blowing this hard just 5 minutes ago, I probably wouldn't fly it. It's a little too windy. This trip's taking some tolls, man, for sure. We hope to take showers tonight, but that sun needs to come back out to warm up the solar shower. It keeps coming and going. I might take a shower no matter how cold it is because I'm ready for one. I'd say so far, this one's the winner so far of the trip. Not gonna lie, today hit hard. The drone's toast, the tires are shot, and to top it off, the clouds rolled in just as we needed solar power. Shower, it was cold. The batteries, they're struggling. And yeah, it rained. Just enough to laugh in our faces. But standing here with this view, it's hard to stay mad. Tomorrow's coming, and so is the next trail, and we'll be ready. Good morning, day 4. We just passed through Young and filled up with some gas. I got the Breakfast of Champions, a Jimmy Dean croissant with some Mountain Dew. Just aired down the tires. We are back on dirt, heading up towards the Mogollon Rim. There's a ton of campgrounds out there, so I'm hoping that one of them will let us fill our water tanks. We aired down because, as you can hear, this road is very washboardy. So far, it looks like it's going to be some pretty nice scenery. So again, we're hoping to get to camp nice and early today and catch this sun. There's no clouds right now, so hopefully it stays that way this time. And yeah, we're going to get going. Day 4 kicked off with clear skies and high hopes. We were finally heading towards the Mogollon Rim, a part of Arizona I'd never explored before. The road ahead promised new views, cooler temps, and the kind of forested cliffs I'd only seen in photos. And yeah, I was ready for it. So we just made a quick stop. We were trying to find a place to fill our water, and dump our trash. And this place is a little off from the BDR. It is called the Rim Resort General Store. And oh my goodness, I'm assuming it's the owner, is the nicest guy. I mean, old-fashioned gas pumps. So we got some gas, we topped off on gas, and we asked if there was a way to fill our water tanks. Sure enough, they got a spigot over there, just a donation to fill your water. And we had a wonderful conversation. And they were even nice enough, because I had my Matt's Off-Road Recovery shirt on, to let us leave our trash here. So it was really cool. I highly recommend it. It's like maybe 7 miles off the main route. Get you some gas, some water, say hello to the owner. Definitely stop by. So I thought I was crushing it with the mic checks this trip. Yeah, it's working. But turns out when we rolled into camp, I was delivering a full monologue to absolutely no one. Anyway, what I was saying here was we pulled into this wide open site just off the forest road. We had planned to push deeper in, but with the sun dropping and our batteries still hungry from the cloudy day yesterday, we called an audible. It turned out to be a solid call. We also brought something new on this trip, e-bikes. Just another way to explore a little farther, see a bit more, and mix things up from behind the wheel. So I figured, why not ride down to the Rimside site we almost chose just to check out what we missed. About 5 minutes into that ride, with the trail getting rough and rocks getting bold, it hit me. Nope. We made the right call. And now, back to Victor out in the wilds of Arizona. There we go. Great. How long was that off? So as I'm riding the bike down here, I am, that was too much for the GoPro. I am actually really glad that we didn't come down here. Not that we couldn't make it down here, but, you know, it would have taken another hour to get down here. And with our battery being what it was, every minute was going to count for getting it charged back up. So I'm actually glad that we didn't come down here, though I'm sure when I get to the end, I'll be rewarded with a pretty cool view. It's very sandy, very rocky. Then it opens up here. I mean, there's tire tracks here. So I don't doubt people come down here, and we could have made it down here. Like, yeah, here's the end, and I'm sure this view is about to be amazing. There is a camp ring there, a fire ring there. And the wind is gonna get really bad because the wind is coming right up over the ridge here. But holy cow, yep. Let's go right over here. There's a big fire ring over here too. Yeah, I mean, you know, effort is often rewarded, and that is a pretty spectacular view. Very windy though. It's windy by us, but this is even worse. So yeah, it would have been really neat to come down here, but hey, I still made it down here on the bike. I still get to see these views, and there you have it. The Mogollon Rim. Well, I know this wind is going to be really bad. It is just ripping up the canyon here. I mean, does it get any better than this? And really, this is an area, now this particular campsite, like I said, would not be easy for a lot of people to get to. You have to have a semi-capable vehicle to get down to this. But I got down here on my bike, and it's just spectacular. I've just been standing here, admiring the view, taking it all in. I'm gonna head back to camp here in just a minute. This spot, this view, it was the kind of place that just makes you stop and breathe it in. I stood there a while longer watching the clouds cast shadows across the valley below. As the day faded, the winds calmed, and the view from camp reminded us why we do this. We had faced setbacks, burned through some luck, but out here, sometimes slowing down is the reward. We didn't plan to stop at this spot, but I'm glad we did. The light, the quiet, the sky, it gave us a sunset we won't forget anytime soon. Good morning and welcome to day 5. We are all packed up, hit the road, and I am currently standing in the very windy Horseshoe Vista. We got another short day today. We're gonna get somewhere near Flagstaff. That way tomorrow we have a short drive to get our new tires, and it is chilly this morning. It's only 45. I was looking at the weather when we hit a camp on Friday night. Allegedly, it's only going to be 12 degrees, and there's a chance of a frozen mix. So that ought to be interesting. We are going to hit the road. We're going to try and get up to Long Lake or somewhere in that area today. That puts us fairly close to Flagstaff, and should be a nice, easy travel day for us today. Funny thing about hindsight, that morning I said I was hoping for a nice easy travel day. And to be fair, it started that way. But those last few miles, more potholes than road. By the time we crawled into camp, even my suspension had trust issues. Still, when the views look like this, you can forgive quite a bit. All right, we made it to camp on night 5, and we're camped right on a lake here in the Coconino National Forest. There's a wind advisory, so I apologize for the wind now. 25 to 35 mile per hour winds with 45 mile per hour gusts. But the sun feels nice and warm. The trip's going good so far, but man, the road leaving camp for the majority of it was not too bad. But the last, I'd say 3-4 miles, I mean, it was just slow going. See the ground behind me? The forest road is not much different than that. We'll probably get an early start tomorrow. We will be getting into Flagstaff, where I have an appointment to get my new tires. We need to restock on groceries. We got here nice and early. We're ahead as far as distance. We didn't want to push it. And since we have that appointment tomorrow, I checked the distance. The dirt is probably another 30-ish miles, and then it's about 20 miles on the highway to get into Flagstaff. So we should be able to get in there nice and early and just get our tires changed when we show up. So we'll see. I could let the next 5 minutes play out in real time, but unless you're wildly curious about tire shops, wind chill, and my internal monologue about dinner, I'll spare you. Long story short, we limped into camp, parked the teardrop, and tried not to blow away. The wind howled, the temps dropped, and eventually we called it a night. Not the most exciting evening, unless you count arguing with our Blackstone in 40 mile per hour gusts. Good morning on day 6. We have packed up camp and left Long Lake, and boy oh boy, this road is real bad. We left about an hour ago and have probably gone about 3 miles, maybe 4. I tell you what, if you did not have some kind of navigation software, you would easily get lost because it winds in and out of a wash. At some points, even the road doesn't look like a road, but we are plugging along and hoping to get to Flagstaff at a decent hour to do all kinds of activities. Hopefully this road improves here soon. Well, welcome to day 8.
Hold up.
What the hell is this? Didn't think we'd be stuck in a blizzard. Yeah, Flagstaff had other plans. With the snow dumping and the time slipping away, we traded dirt roads for a warm bed and the long overdue tire swap. And I know what you're going to say to yourself. Victor, what happened to day 7? Well, when we left Long Lake, we only had about 35 miles to go to Flagstaff. And we had our tire appointment at 2 o'clock. We figured, oh, no problem. We'll get there nice and early. We can do all the other things that we need to do. That road coming out of Long Lake was horrible for a long time. We left campsite probably about 6:45, and we did not roll into Flagstaff until 12:15. Needless to say, that did not give us a whole lot of time to do much of anything. That, coupled with the threat of bad weather, it ended up snowing. We ended up getting a hotel. We figured, why not just hang out in Flagstaff for the day. We are heading in near the Cinder Cones OHV area. We got about 60 total miles to do today, but we did a good chunk of it already. Hopefully we make camp early. Anyway, we are on the road, day 8. And just like that, we've run into a closed gate on the other end of the road. There's pavement right behind me there. So we just drove, I don't know, it wasn't that far, but it was far enough where now we got to turn around and go back and hopefully find a way around and get back to the BDR. We rerouted and aimed for our next camp, the Grand Canyon Historical Airport. Looked solid on the map, felt like a good call, but once again, the universe said, nope, another locked gate. No footage, no warning, just a closed trail and a setting sun. Good morning from day 9. Very chilly. Everything had a nice coating of ice on it this morning. Looking at my weather app, it said it was about 22 degrees. I did end up turning the heater on at around 3 o'clock in the morning. We are gonna get camp cleaned up here. No luck on the trail cam again. Yeah, we're gonna get packed up, get out of here, hopefully hit the visitor center right when they open at 9. Check out the Grand Canyon and all that awesome stuff, and then hit the road to the final night of camp. So here I am, finally. After living in Arizona for the better part of 15 years, I never made it to the Grand Canyon until now. It's one of those places you've seen 1,000 photos of, but standing there, seeing it all with my own eyes, it definitely hits different. Standing here on the edge, looking down into the canyon, it almost doesn't look real, even when you're standing here, looking at it with your own eyes. I don't know if it's the perspective or the distance. It looks like you're looking at a painting or something. It's definitely awe-inspiring for sure. I'm really glad that we were able to make the trip up here for me to finally see this. It's actually hard not to get emotional about it. Waited so long to see it, and I always told myself that I'd come and see it at some point. Took a little while, but I got here. All right, so there's this area you can climb down. There's no barriers, no nothing. I'm not going way out, but I gotta come down a little bit at least. It may or may not ever be here again. If I can figure out how to get down there. But I mean, there's nothing. All right, let's go down to this edge right here. It'll give a good perspective. It looks like you're standing right at the edge. I could not do it. All right, just climb back up from there. So I'm out of breath, but there's an elk right over here eating. There she is. Just hanging out. We'll try and keep our distance so she doesn't feel trapped. You can't help everybody else. She's obviously very used to people. All the remote camp spots that we've been at, we haven't seen anything. Come to the Grand Canyon where there's a ton of people, and there's an elk right there. As we rolled out of the Grand Canyon, I couldn't help but feel like the trail had just handed me something I didn't know I needed. It wasn't remote, it wasn't quiet, but it still hit hard. Now it was time to get back to what this trip was supposed to be, off the pavement. Well, we just turned onto dirt after leaving the Grand Canyon. It was a lot of pavement miles, as you saw there. Filled up with gas, and we are heading out to the spot. So far, this road isn't too bad. Again, we are down just for comfort at this point. I think the majority of the trip out there should be on a decent road. But I'm not sure what the road looks like once we turn off to make the final push for the spot. We saw some guys go flying by us that I saw back at the gas station that looked like they're set up for off-grid camping. So if we get there and they're there, I hope they don't mind sharing, because I sure didn't come all this way not get there and camp there. So we'll see. I guess we'll see when we get there. I didn't know it yet, but this trail was about to hand me the kind of campsite I'll probably never forget. It didn't look like much at first, just another stretch of trail hugging the edge of a canyon. But then the view opened up and I realized this was it. This was the spot. Camp Night 9. We made it. Check this out. Just one little issue. We started coming down here. You can see where the road comes from. Comes from up and around up there and up over that hill. And then there's another road up at the top of that ridge there. Well, we went that way first. We got out to look because I was like, where's the road? I don't see the road. And what do we see? 2 cars down here. So that bummed us out, but we decided, like, let's just come down here and, you know, maybe they're car camping, maybe they're just here for the sunset, who knows? And maybe they'll let us share the space because it's pretty big space. So we came down, we were ready to ask them, and there's nobody in the cars. There's nobody around. There's some hints of camping stuff in their car. There's a couple coolers in there, but I don't see any camping gear. The current consensus is that they went hiking down into the canyon. Whether or not they're coming back up, we don't know. We don't hear voices. It's super quiet out here, so you would hear voices. We don't hear anything. We've kind of walked the ridge and we don't see anybody. So we're gonna wait. We got the solar panels out at least to kind of charge up the battery a little bit. If they don't come back up at a certain time, we're gonna set up. I mean, I don't like doing that. I'm sure they didn't expect anyone to be out here just as much as we didn't. From the decent forest road, it's an hour and a half to get back here. This site is on the north rim. That's really the only area you can camp, and even then on the north rim, there's not a whole lot of spots. We're gonna hang out a little bit, see if they come back. If they don't, we're gonna set up and just kind of be like, hope this is cool, you know? It took us 9 days to get here. This is our finale. So I really hope you don't mind that we stayed here. What a way to end our trip, traversing Arizona from the southern border all the way to the northern border. The trip was ending, but the story, that keeps going.